Former Gauteng Health MEC Dr. Bandile Masuku and presidential spokesperson Diko will appear before the ANC disciplinary committee for their alleged role in the province's PPE corruption scandal. Now, this was announced by the ANC's PEC in Gauteng following a meeting to discuss the pair's future. The two have also been suspended from all party activities following their alleged involvement in irregular COVID-19 contracts awarded to unpacks projects. At the same time, the PEC says Johannesburg MMC for Group Corporate Services Loyiso Masuku can resume her duties as allegations against her cannot be substantiated.
In order to protect the integrity of the ANC and of the affected comrades, the PEC further decided that Comrade Bandile and Comrade Kusela should step aside from organizational activities pending the finalization of the disciplinary process. The PEC report and the follow-up work done by the PwC found that allegations against Comrade Loyiso Masuku in relation to her involvement in this regard could not be substantiated. Accordingly, the PEC decided that she should resume her responsibilities. This decision also takes into account that there are currently SIU investigations, and should anything be found on all these matters, the PEC would apply its mind and reconsider its decisions based on any new information that is provided.
Right, to expand more on this matter, I'm joined by political analyst Dr. Mathekga. Dr. Mathekga, very good morning to you. Thank you for your time. As we watched the suspensions take place and the impact that they've had on the health services in Gauteng, what do you make of what's transpired so far?
Good morning to your viewers. I think that what has happened is quite a concern in Gauteng. We know that Gauteng has always been under tremendous amount of pressure when it comes to health because of its location in the country. It cannot actually cope with the demands on the health system there in the province. And to see something like this happening is quite unfortunate. But the sad part of it is that this was just clearly predictable. I mean, anyone who actually was honest enough would have known that the risks that were confronted when it comes to COVID-19 expenditure was the misuse of the funds, and that could have been anticipated that will cause a problem that will actually get the department, unfortunately, on a bad light. But nothing has happened to prevent this. Remember, what we are all talking about now is just recovery from the situation that we could have just simply prevented.
Now, both Diko and Masuku are going to face a disciplinary process over this multi-million rand PPE controversy. As we really get an understanding of the pair's role, the ANC is referring them to this hearing. Does it suggest in any way that there may be more to this matter than we know of?
Well, you see, the challenge is that when it comes to the internal processes of the ANC, you and I, presumably not members of the ANC and other people out there in the country, quite a significant large population, they don't have much say as to the internal processes of the ANC. So the only thing that we in situations such as this is only to observe the internal processes. And I think what will actually matter for South Africans outside the ANC who are just looking into the use of public resources, it will be for state institutions, that is the Special Investigation Unit and your prosecution agency, your asset recovery, whatever needs to be done by the institutions of state institutions, that needs to be done. And what happens within the ANC, there are disciplinary processes, who goes to the Integrity Commission and so forth. Those are internal processes of the party that other people who are not members of the party are not privy to how they even function. I mean, to be honest with you, I cannot even begin to explain to you what is the internal, what kind of processes that the Integrity Commission of the ANC follow, are they rigorous enough and so forth. Those are things known only to the ANC, and it's an internal process. What South Africans are interested in, I think, it's the state institutions. What will government institutions do in relation to this transgression?
We've seen politicians bounce back after a few scandals and so forth, like Ace Magashule, Supra Mahumapelo, and former President Jacob Zuma even. Could we clearly say in this matter that this is the end of Bandile Masuku's career, especially as we also need to consider how Gauteng Premier David Makhura was quite ambivalent, speaking about the findings of the SIU, saying that if the final report cleared him of any corruption as opposed to his failure to stop it in the first place, then there will be other considerations that will be made there.
I don't think it's over for Dr. Masuku politically, because he also wants to challenge the findings in court. He wants to take this thing out. And again, when he takes this thing to court, or whoever member of the ANC who have had the adverse findings, when they take it to court, it means that they are actually saying that they don't trust the internal processes of their own party. Usually, when people take this thing further outside the party, we have seen them mobilizing political support within the party in a way that they seek to say that this is just politics. It's got nothing to do with the substantive matters. It's a political maneuvering. This might take that turn, but I don't think we are at that situation where people will just mobilize large support just because they are accused of impropriety and they are saying it is a political witch hunt. I think South Africans are becoming more sensitive. I don't think we are back in those years, 2007, 2008, when former president will mobilize people and so forth. People are worried about the impact of corruption on their lives. So people will be looking into the details to say, do we give political support to this person? What are the implications? What does this say to the strength of the state and so forth? So people are becoming indifferent towards this thing. It's no longer easy for people to just say that the investigations are political machination. One still has to go and answer the substantive matters. And when you answer the substantive matters in court, as we have seen with the State Capture Commission, the truth tends to come out, and it usually come out in a way that we did not expect.
The other aspect of this, of course, is the presidential spokesperson Kusela Diko's future and her stance and her role with the president. When we take a look at the amount of pressure that President Cyril Ramaphosa is under from the critics, from opposition parties, what does that mean then now for him and his working relationship with Kusela Diko? Can he afford to keep her?
I mean, the president, when he campaigned to lead the ANC and the campaign to the elections last year, the president has made a personal touch to his campaign, and the personal touch has been that he wanted to stand against corruption, he wanted to stand against impropriety. He actually carved the integrity ticket, and South Africans, I think they bought it because they believe, some seems to believe that indeed the president can do something. So if the president is seen near people such as Kusela Diko, if the president is seen protecting someone such as Kusela Diko, and this is not to say that Kusela Diko is guilty, but there is an ethical question which it's there. The fact that Kusela Diko's partner seems to have won a tender, and within that environment, those are things that President Ramaphosa could actually do without. It would be very difficult for him to make a case to reinstate Kusela Diko. And this is not about liability where the president can say or someone can say you have done this wrong. It's about the ethics of it. The ethics requires that people's judgment is above board, and I don't think in this case one can say that Kusela Diko or whoever is closer to her, the judgment has been above board. So I think she has become a liability to the president. I don't see her coming back, although the reality is that people will continue to try to defend themselves, and it is within their own right to resort to the legal means to defend themselves. But being back and representing the state, being the presidential spokesperson in a moment like this while you are facing this allegation is quite untenable.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Ralph Mathekga, political analyst, giving us some analysis there and his thoughts as the matter of Gauteng Health MEC Dr. Bandile Masuku, former Gauteng Health MEC, and Kusela Diko is under the spotlight.